If you hear voices, it might be because you have alien implants. Um, I found, last I counted was like 7. So one way to tell if you hear voices is very simple. Get some tin foil and put it right here. And if the voices go away, they'll go away immediately. But you might take like 5 or 10 minutes before you say, hey, they haven't said anything in a while. Then you have an implant right there. That's just basically what it is. Um, you also want, if you hear music, you want to cover this area right here, and the music will go away. If you suffer from suddenly feeling tired, you put it right here, this area here. Um, so I want to tell you, I'm going to give you the quick story how I figured this out. So I started hearing voices around 2002 or 2003. So basically, what they do, they target people. It's easier for them to get you if you're alone and if you're not moving. This is where I live. It's a hotel room. And my bed is right here. It's got all my protective gear stacked on the bed. And if I go out, they bother me less often if you're around other people or if you're in a different building. And the reason why is because they have to align their satellites. The satellites come perpendicularly through the wall. So if I move to a different location in the room, they might not be able to hit me because of all the stuff they have to go through. I'm on the first floor of the hotel. You don't want to be on the upper floors. You want to be as close to the bottom in the middle of the city as possible. So you want to crumple up aluminum foil. It's the best protection. So one day I had a headache, severe headache, and my headaches would go on for days. So I was just lying down and I put my hand like this and the headache went away. I said, that's weird. Why would putting my hand over the headache make it go away? Doesn't make any sense. And I was sitting there one day and I would feel this buzzing feeling. And most of the time you would just ignore it. When I was driving my car, it would go away. Then when I would stop, it would start buzzing again. So I knew that something movement related had to do with this buzzing. And I only got 15 minutes, so I have to hurry. So one day, I'm lying in bed, and I noticed that if I covered the area that was buzzing, the buzzing would stop. Lying down in bed, and I noticed if I lifted my hand a small amount, the buzzing started again. And I was like, either my hand emits some sort of energy that stops this buzzing, or the physical presence of my hand is stopping this buzzing. And if I lift it up and it starts buzzing, that means the beam is not coming through here. It's coming at an angle. So I was lying down in bed. And I said, okay, the next time I'm sitting down, I'm going to see if I can find this beam. Sitting down, and I start to feel it buzzing near my belly button. And I started going like this with my hands. And I got to here and I was like, wait a second, the buzzing stopped. And then I moved my hand and it started up again. And I blocked it again and started it up again. And I realized the beam was coming from the corner of my room. It was a hotel room. It wasn't this hotel at a 45-degree angle. And it was always coming from that direction. So then I started saying, I would sit with my hand and I would use the computer and type my hand back on. I said, but you can't do that all the time. Sometimes I want to use both hands. So I said, maybe I could find something to block it with. And one of the things that I discovered was plastic bottles would do it. And other things made out of plastic. Like the lid, hard drive would not do it, but the plastic container that I put the hard drive in would block it. And this would block it. Little thing of plastic. That's why I have this. The other thing, the cell phone would not unless it was on. When my cell phone was on, it blocked it. And when I turned it off, it had no effect. The mouse would block it. If I would put the mouse over the location, it would block it. Anything that was round, like a basketball, just had to hold the basketball. But it was very difficult. So because I was fat, I could just put this here, put it under my gut or under my shirt, and it blocked it. But then the beam would come from a different direction. So one day I said, Whiteley Strieber says that there's an implant that's inserted through your nose. And I was like, I know that happened when I was a kid. One day I woke up and I had a bloody nose when I was like 4. My brother had the same thing. I remember going to sleep one night and thinking that there's an insect crawling in my nose. So then I thought, what happens if I put aluminum foil? Oh, you know what it was? I had a pair of glasses that I made because my eyes were constantly getting spasms. So I took a pair of glasses and I covered it with metal coins, covered it. And when my eyes were spasming, I would go lie down in bed, put the glasses on, and the spasming would stop and the voices would go away. I thought that was weird. And after like 3 nights of that, I thought, what would happen if I put tin foil over the bridge of my nose? The voices went away. So after 3 days of this, I started getting a buzzing right over here, and then I covered where it was buzzing over here. Got 9 minutes left. So then I thought, sometimes I lose this, I misplace it. Sometimes it's uncomfortable and looks stupid. You know what I mean? And and so I didn't always want to wear it. Like I'd have to take it off when I take a shower. And because it's 90 degrees over here, you got to take a shower 5 times a day, just because of how hot it is. I got air conditioning now. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna put aluminum foil on the wall, and I put a patch of aluminum foil just right behind my head. But then it started coming in from another direction. And I know that because I use the can and I go like this and I find, oh, look, it's vibrating over here. Oh, and over here it's not. And almost always it's coming from one direction. Almost always at a 40. See, it's coming from over here and there's no aluminum foil over there. And then I said, it's starting to come through the aluminum foil, but weaker. And I took, you see behind me, there's tin cans. They block the material, and that is cans within cans. The bigger cans have cans inside of them. And that blocks it when I sleep. That's in the direction of my head. So then I discovered that crumpling the foil was better than flat foil. And I bought aluminum tape. And I started that's why all the foil is crumpled. And in the places where I get hit the hardest, it's crumpled more. What I do is I roll it and then squeeze it, and then you got to really carefully unroll it, and you want to crumple it as much as you can, and it breaks up the beam. And I made all sorts of things like this, which is aluminum foil, very comfortable. It's not designed for me to have with the earphones. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm wearing it. It's intended without the glasses. So that's basically it. I'll wear this if I'm lying down and I'm being bothered. Did I just notice that it's not even on one side or something? Yeah, it might be a crooked shape. I really don't care that much. But when I'm being bothered, I put this on, and it makes life a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to tell you another bit to the story. When I was younger, I had a serious accident with a slip disc. Caused me a lot of pain on my spinal column. That was not an accident. It's something that they do because they need your nervous system to be effed up, basically. Because what they're doing is they're trying to cause you pain. They're trying to interrupt your life. I'm going to tell you, I used to do business with big companies like Google and eBay, etc., and some of them paid me $500,000 a year during this time. I helped other companies do well, and Google told me I was one of their biggest advertisers at one time for their TV ad system. I spent tons of money. I was spending $100,000 a month. I did $200,000 ad buys with Google. We're talking about around 2006, or I don't remember what year it was, but around 2009 they got rid of the Google TV and they switched to YouTube because they bought YouTube. So I used to do a lot of business with these companies, and I did over $1 million a year. one of the things that happened, I had a motorcycle accident, and the reason why, because when you have an accident, I was in bed for a year. They can target you easily if you can't move, because if their device is coming through the wall perpendicular and you move to another part of, like if I go into the bathroom, the pain might stop. Or if I go out to eat, riding on my motorcycle, they lose track of me. Or what I would do if I had two computers, I would put a computer somewhere else and I would just move. Or if they're bothering me, I just go lie down. They got to change their setup. There's a delay. Or I go in the other room, which is right there behind that wall. There's a wall right there. So the motorcycle accident slows you down and keeps you in one place. If you work at home or are at home often, and you hear voices, it's going to be a problem. The cure is to get a job, not work at home. But then you're going to give up the enjoyment of your freedom. I really liked working for myself. When I went to the office every day, which I did for a couple of years, voices went away. Almost never bothered me. But that was years ago. And then there was a time they didn't bother me for years. And then all of a sudden one day they started harassing me on the weekends. And that's when I started fighting back against them. I understand that there's some of you that use drugs. You know what? If it works for you, good. I didn't like taking the drugs. Sometimes it was good, but sometimes it wasn't. And over here in the Philippines, I've never gotten a prescription ongoing. You got to go every month to get another prescription from the doctor, and it's a pain. And even though it's a city of 1 million people, you call the doctor and you say, "Oh, sorry, I'm in another country." Not like the United States where you've got 50 doctors to choose from in a small city. Over here in a big city, you're lucky to find a doctor because they don't have patients. They don't have patients that are going to pay them the money that they charge because it's a poor country. So they're just not open 20. They're not open regular hours. Going to run out of time soon. So I would have prophetic dreams that maybe I would have an accident. They're not telling you what might happen to you because you do something wrong. They're telling you what they're going to do to you. This is what they plan to do to you. If you have prophetic dreams, they're there to make you think that you have some sort of special gift, but you don't. It's a technology, and they're not predicting the future. They're making the future happen. It's not a warning. They're telling you it's a threat is what it is. You have dreams that you can't walk. I used to have dreams that I couldn't walk across the street. That happened. They injured my foot. They did this, and they planned it. The whole entire thing, you look at everything that happened leading up to it, they planned it and they wanted it to happen. You have dreams like that, that's a sign that they're coming for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. If you have any questions or comments, post below. And you want to make fun of me, I really don't care. It's no big deal. I would have done the same thing 20 years ago before this happened to me,